Before we jump into this interaction, buckle up, because what you're about to see is one of those encounters that perfectly captures the ongoing debate between citizens recording in public and law enforcement officers who may not fully understand or respect those rights. In today's clip, a self-described grandma walks right up to the edge of a legal showdown with a police officer who clearly believes he has the authority to demand identification from someone filming near police vehicles.
Don't film inside the vehicle.
Grandma's filming.
Don't do it.
Why not, darling?
Because there's personal property in there, and there's sensitive items in there.
But Grandma's in public.
But don't film inside of the vehicle, okay?
But Grandma's in public.
You can't film inside of other people's cars, okay?
Oh, I can't film inside other people's.
Personal property.
My eyes can see it, a camera can see it. If there was any private sensitive things, I see you got your spit bottle, you know. So what, darling?
So I told you you're fine to look at the vehicles, but don't be filming inside the vehicles, okay?
It's the same thing as looking at them. It's in public.
I'm telling you not to do it, though, okay?
Is that an order?
Yes.
So you'll arrest me if I do? Are you mean to elderly folks?
One, sir, you're not elderly, okay?
That's discrimination.
Well, then fine.
I'm a grandma.
Call it what you want.
I'm a grandmother, and I don't approve of this, sir.
Okay, well, your behavior right now, filming inside of a police vehicle, is suspicious, so I'm going to ask for your ID now.
Oh, did I commit a crime?
You're being suspicious, so I'm
What crime is that? Is that a misdemeanor or felony?
I'm investigating.
For what?
Right away, we see the first spark of tension. The officer approaches and immediately tells the person filming not to record inside the police vehicle. Now, on the surface, that might sound reasonable to some viewers. After all, police cars can contain equipment, documents, or sensitive materials. But legally speaking, the key issue here is visibility from a public space. If something is clearly visible to the public eye while standing in a public area, courts have generally held that there is no reasonable expectation of privacy. In other words, if a person can see it with their eyes from a lawful position, a camera can typically record it as well.
Crime. Suspicious and it's not a crime.
No, because I haven't determined yet if you've committed a crime.
Well, you have to before you come and ask for ID.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, what's the Fourth Amendment, silly?
I do not need...
No, the Fourth Amendment?
I do not need permission.
Yes, you do.
You
we have a
identify
constitution.
yourself. I don't need permission from you especially, to conduct my job.
What crime did I commit?
I'm asking, you have not committed a crime yet, but
there
right
we
now
go. There's the answer.
I am suspect.
So no, I'm suspect of you.
I have probable cause.
You have to have reasonable, articulable suspicion before you can have probable cause.
Given your demeanor and given you...
Oh, so it's illegal to be a grandma now?
Listen, let me see your ID.
How about hell no?
If you do not identify yourself, I will place you under arrest.
All right, then arrest me, because that's a Fourth Amendment violation.
Put this down.
Oh, I'll just hold on to it.
Why are you being difficult?
Why are you trying to violate my Fourth Amendment rights?
You're intentionally goading and antagonizing.
And antagonizing what? Standing on public property? You just said I could look inside.
This actually is not public property.
Yes, it is. Where's the signs restricting? And you just gave me permission to come. Private property is not a police station. Who pays for it? We the people. You had an oath swore to uphold the Constitution, yet you're trying to violate a grandma's rights.
No, I'm not.
For filming, because she doesn't want to give you ID because you said she committed no crime. You have to have reasonable, articulable...
Now the interaction shifts into something much more serious, a command from the officer. Notice the moment when the officer says, "I'm telling you not to do it," and confirms that it's an order. That's a critical turning point. Once a directive becomes an official order from law enforcement, the legal justification behind it becomes extremely important. Officers generally need lawful authority tied to specific statute, safety concern, or ongoing investigation, but the person filming immediately challenges that authority. They argue that simply recording from a public space does not constitute a crime. This is where many First Amendment audit encounters hinge, whether the officer can clearly articulate a legitimate legal reason for restricting recording or demanding compliance.
Suspicion that a crime was committed, is about to be committed, or already has been committed. What crime did I commit? And you said none.
Yeah, where does that from then?
What do you think?
What Iowa code?
What do you think?
What Iowa code?
That's your job.
What Iowa code?
What's the Fourth Amendment?
What Iowa code?
What's the Fourth
I'm not gonna
Amendment?
sit here and
You
argue
swore
with
an
you.
oath to the Constitution. That's your #1 job.
I am not.
And you're over here trying to violate
rights.
My rights.
No,
standing in public videotaping.
No, I'm not.
There's zero. What's private information besides your spit cup?
You're intentionally
videotaping, being nice, being cordial.
Your little viewers here are probably getting a real kick out of this, aren't they?
I don't know. You ask them. You could look in the camera and say hello.
Hi.
You know how many people are watching you right now trying to violate a grandma's rights?
What right have I violated?
My 4th Amendment. What do you think the 4th Amendment is?
Have I violated
to be secure in my persons and
I'm not gonna sit
papers.
here and argue with you. Okay?
Well, then violate my rights. That's up to you, but you're getting a lawsuit if you try.
Listen.
No crime was committed, and you need that to get ID. That's end of story. If you don't like grandma filming, yes, you do.
No, I do not.
You need reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime. So what crime is that? You said there is none.
You know what an investigation is?
Yes, that's what you conduct if you determine if there was a crime. And you determine there was no.
Here we reach the first big legal flashpoint of the video. The officer declares the behavior suspicious and asks for identification. Now, depending on the jurisdiction, police can request ID during a lawful investigation. But there's an important standard often referenced in these situations: reasonable articulable suspicion, meaning an officer must be able to explain specific facts suggesting that a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed. The person filming immediately pushes back, asking the officer to name the crime. That's actually a very common response in audit videos because the legality of the ID demand often depends on that explanation.
No crime, so you just failed. Grandma's smarter than you.
Okay, Grandma.
It's true, and you know it. You could go ahead and violate grandma's rights all you want. It's going to be bad on you. If you need your supervisor, you need to call the sheriff because you don't know the job that you've signed up for, upholding the Constitution. You don't know the 4th Amendment.
Sit down, you cop. I never said I didn't.
How do you know I wasn't a cop before?
Were you?
I don't know. Was I?
That's why I'm asking you.
I don't have to answer.
You don't.
You're a public servant.
You don't.
You're supposed to serve the public. And I'm the public, am I not? Until I commit a crime. And you just said there's no crime committed. But yet you want to violate my rights.
Have I?
My 1st and 4th Amendment.
I never
you just said that you were going to place me under arrest if I don't give you ID. That's my 4th Amendment right. Grandma doesn't back down from shit.
I don't care if you back down or not.
Well, then you're going to have fun in court. Imagine all the jury seeing this, trying to violate an elderly woman's rights.
Too.
Yeah, they'll see that and they'll be like, wow, this grandma's been very polite and cordial with you. And you came up, said there's no crime being committed, yet you demand ID. Do your investigation then. For what crime? Reasonable, articulable suspicion.
At this stage, the debate escalates from suspicion to an outright threat of arrest. The officer warns that failure to identify could lead to being taken into custody. That's a serious statement, and you can see the person filming immediately frame it as a potential violation of their 4th Amendment protections against unreasonable searches and seizures. But what's fascinating here is the dynamic of confidence. The filmer appears completely prepared for this confrontation and continues challenging the officer to explain the legal basis for the demand. Whether viewers agree with the tone or not, the strategy is clear. Force the officer to articulate a crime.
That's what you need. Grandma's a war veteran. You understand that? Grandma actually fought for these rights, the ones that you're trying to strip from Grandma for doing nothing wrong.
War veteran. Okay.
Yes.
What war?
World War II, WW2.
Right.
Grandma killed 20 of them Nazis and you're acting like one. Okay. Trying to take our freedoms away. Hell no, darling. This man's a bully.
This is Grandma, and he's videotaping inside law enforcement vehicles and
which is perfectly acceptable.
Refuses to identify himself.
I don't have to. He said no crime's been committed. There's absolutely no crime that can be committed.
Okay, is there anything I can help you with?
Tell Stanley to stop being a naughty boy and to leave Grandma alone. No, Stanley tried arresting Grandma.
Behavior is what I told him.
You want me to hold my horses?
No, I said just hold on. I gotta talk. You gotta let me speak. Is that okay?
If you listen to Grandma afterwards, Grandma will let you. All right, you can
I
talk.
just got on duty. I have no idea what's going on. I just came in here.
Yeah, no, that's all right, Fox.
It is very unfamiliar to have somebody videotaping the inside of cars. It's kind of weird. That's why.
Well, they're police vehicles bought by the public, are they not?
They are, but it is weird for people to videotape the.
By this point, the argument has evolved beyond a simple police interaction and turned into a full-blown constitutional debate. The person filming repeatedly references the Fourth Amendment and insists that without a clearly stated crime, the officer cannot lawfully compel identification. Meanwhile, the officer attempts to justify the request by pointing to the person's behavior and demeanor. This is actually a common clash in real-world encounters. Officers may view certain actions as suspicious based on training and experience, while citizens focus strictly on whether a specific law has been violated. The result is exactly what we're seeing here. Two completely different interpretations of authority playing out in real time.
I don't think so at all, darling. I think people should videotape buildings they buy. Yeah, but this isn't your house. This is public. This isn't private property. There's a huge difference in between that. You don't see me going up to some private people's property. This is we the people's property. So Grandma's just out here. Tell Stanley to stop trying to violate my Fourth Amendment. Bad Stanley, you're naughty.
Well, Fourth Amendment's a...
To be secure in my persons and papers, and he tried violating my rights.
I asked for his identification.
Yes, I'm pressed.
Well, it's not wrong to ask for something.
No, he demanded it, or I'm going to be arrested, was his exact words. And Grandma doesn't back down. I'm a grandma, boob inspector, and my name's Grandma. Okay. Grandma's been around the block a time or two, Stanley. Just because you don't like what I'm doing doesn't mean it's wrong, so, Stanley.
Is there anything like that you came here to do? Or
yeah, just to film in public. You know where I just came from?
Courthouse?
No, Marshalltown, and you know how great interactions I had there? Fantastic.
Now a second officer arrives, and the tone immediately shifts. This is a classic moment in many police encounters. The arrival of another officer often de-escalates things because it introduces a fresh perspective. The new officer seems calmer and asks questions rather than issuing commands. That's usually a sign that they're trying to assess the situation before taking action. The conversation also becomes more conversational here, even humorous at times, which is a stark contrast to the earlier tension. This is where many situations either resolve peacefully or escalate again, depending on how each side handles the moment.
Fantastic. They loved me. You know what they said?
Go to enforce your rights and...
Exactly, because this nerd tried stripping them from me.
What I'm trying to say is, let's not name call. Let's not do that. We're civil human beings.
Are you going to name call me anymore, Stanley?
I never name called you.
You called me ridiculous looking.
No, I said...
Yeah, exactly. I look ridiculous, you son of a gun.
I didn't say you are.
Yeah, you said I look ridiculous, and I said you look like a nerd.
You said you are a stupid nerd.
Well, you are a stupid nerd.
So there you go.
Yeah,
stupid nerd, Stanley.
So I just want to ask again, is there anything that we can help you with at all?
Tell Stanley to leave Grandma alone, and I'm out of here.
Tell me to leave.
Yeah, tell him.
I sure freaking do.
Yeah, walk of shame, Stanley. Get out of here, Stanley.
I just wanna...
You're a son of a gun, Stanley. You can't violate my rights. I'm Grandma. I do what I need to do.
And that brings us to the end of this unusual but fascinating encounter. What started as a simple act of recording in public quickly escalated into a heated argument about constitutional rights, police authority, and the limits of lawful orders. Throughout the interaction, we saw the filmer repeatedly challenge the officer to explain the legal basis for demanding identification, while the officer maintained that the behavior was suspicious enough to justify an investigation. Whether viewers agree with the filmer's approach or believe the officer was simply trying to do his job, moments like this highlight why understanding civil rights and legal standards is so important.